Hello everyone. This is the first of 3 videos which are going to show you how to make a MARC record for your assignment. And this first video is designed to gather together everything that you're going to need to create this MARC record. Those consist of the following. First, you need the bibliographic record with the bibliographic data that you collected and placed into the International Standard Bibliographic Description format. This is what you created at the bottom of the coding sheets for the first assignment. Also, you will need the data elements that are not included in the ISBD record, which include the media type and the carrier type. So we'll be starting with a bibliographic description, such as you see here. Shakespeare on Stage, this is the title and statement of responsibility area. We then have the edition area stating that this is the first edition. The publication area, which shows that this was published in London by Nick Hearn Books in 2010 with a copyright date of 2010. We have the physical description area, which shows that this has an extent of 272 pages and dimensions of 24 centimeters. And we have a standard number in terms of availability area, which contains the ISBN, this number here. These are all things that you collected as RDA data and then put into ISBD format. In addition, there were 2 data elements that do not have a place in the International Standard Bibliographic Description, but which will have a place in the MARC record. These are the media type, which according to Rule 3.2.1.3 is classified as unmediated. In other words, this is a book. It therefore needs no media to read, and it's therefore unmediated. For each media type, there's a collection of carrier types. Following Rule 3.3.1.3, we have selected volume as the appropriate carrier type in this case. In addition to this information, we also need to establish the access points that we're going to use for this resource. And we start by defining the access point for the work. According to Rule 6.27.1.2, if you have a work that has been created by one agent, one author or one interviewer or one composer or whatever, then the access point consists of 2 things. It consists of the authorized access point for that agent. So you go to the authority file and you find the authorized form of that person's name, together with what you have established as the preferred title for the work. Now, in our case, we will do the following. For the authorized access point for that agent, we will use the authority file that you find in the Library of Congress name authorities. So you will take the name and you will look it up in the LC name authorities and establish how the Library of Congress renders this as an authorized name, and we'll take that. For the preferred title of the work, we are simply going to take the title proper that we recorded in the bibliographic record. This is, some libraries do something more complicated with what they call uniform titles, but we're not going to worry about that. The title proper that we recorded from the title page is the preferred title that we will use. So to establish the access point for the work, we start by establishing the authorized form of the name. We go to the Library of Congress name authorities and we find that the personal name heading is Curry, Julian. So our access point for the work is Curry, Julian, Shakespeare on Stage. Now, in a MARC record, we have to remember that this access point gets split up into a personal name heading, Curry, Julian, and a title proper, Shakespeare on Stage. These 2 elements don't appear combined together in the bibliographic record the way we see it at the top of this slide. In addition to establishing the access point for the work, we need to determine the relationship between the creator and the work. We follow Rule 18.4.1, which states that the relationship between the creator and the work that was created is a combination of one or both of the following two things: the authorized access point for that creator, which we already established as Curry Julian, and or the unique identifier of that authority file. Together with one or both of those is combined with a relationship designator that we select from the list of designators in RDA Appendix I. If you look at the RDA Appendix I, we find that the relationship designators are listed according to their association. You have relationship designators for agents associated with a work. This includes things like author, interviewer, librettist, composer, etc. And then you have relationship designators for agents associated with an expression. So performer, a translator, an editor, a production designer, etc. So if we look in Appendix I for the list of relationships for creators responsible for creating a work, we find that we have a designator interviewer, an agent responsible for creating a work by acting as an interviewer. Since Shakespeare on Stage is Julian Curry's conversations with a series of well-known Shakespeare actors about acting Shakespeare, interviewer is an appropriate relationship designator. So we have the three elements we need to establish the relationship. We have the authorized personal name, Curry Julian. We have the Library of Congress's authority control number for that personal name, NO2005024545, and we have the relationship, which is interviewer. So our access point we established as Curry Julian Shakespeare on Stage. First thing we do is we split that up for the MARC record into a personal name heading, which is Curry Julian, and the title and statement of responsibility, which contains the title that we're going to use. We then provide that access point with a relationship designation. So we have Curry, Julian, interviewer, and then the authority control number, and then our title and statement of responsibility. We have other access points as well. We're going to have an access point for the title proper. So someone should be able to go into the catalog and look up Shakespeare on Stage and get that title. So we want an access point for Shakespeare on Stage. We also would like to have an access point for the author of the foreword in the book. In this case, Trevor Nunn is a famous theater person in England, and he wrote a foreword for the book. And so we'll have an access point for Trevor Nunn as well. Using the same tactics that we used to establish Curry's authorized name, we look up Trevor Nunn in the name authority file and find that his authorized name is Nunn Trevor. The relationship designator in the relationships for an expression, I.3, establishes there's a designator called writer of foreword. So that is the relationship, and then the authority control number is N8318796. So we have an RDA record. We have a bibliographic record, and we have access points for the author or the interviewer and the writer of the foreword. So the RDA record, the two extra data elements of media type and carrier type, and the access points Julian Curry, Trevor Nunn, and the title.